Today we're installing a special Nismo racing differential in our Project Spec Z race car. And it's all right here on Power Nation Garage. Oh yeah! Hey guys, I'm Gannon Pritchard, and our limited slip differential just showed up from Nismo, and this thing is going to work wonders on our Spec Z race car. But before we can install it, we got to get the 350 up in the air and take care of a few things, and then we can have some fun. Once the car's in the air with enough room to move freely, start by removing your exhaust. We actually used a Sawzall because this exhaust was not going back on the car, but you might want to unbolt yours and pull it off. Follow that by removing the body brace, and then unhook the exhaust from the brackets that hold the exhaust up under your car. Make your way over to the rear sway bar and remove that as well. Drop the oil plug in your rear end differential and start draining that stock differential fluid. Drop your drive shaft bolts and then remove your drive shaft completely from the car. Now you want to loosen all the bolts that hold the differential into place, but be careful because the differential is a pretty heavy piece. And don't forget to unhook the sensor on top of the differential because that's an important part that you don't want to have to replace. Use an axle puller on your axles to remove them from the differential. This can be kind of a tough job, so stay persistent and keep it up because those axles can be stubborn, but with a little love, they'll come right out. Once all the bolts are out of the differential cover, go ahead and remove it from the differential. Once inside, go ahead and remove the carrier bearing caps. Followed by removing the gear from the housing. Using an impact, go ahead and remove the ring gear. The cool thing about this Nismo GT limited slip differential is it's race proven all over the world, so it works. Unlike the competition, we all know those guys sometimes send more power to either the left side or the right side of the car, which makes it hard to drive and, let's be honest, slower. Nismo's GT series leverages large capacity and delivers uniform torque to both the left and right shafts. And it's that high traction performance which permits fine-tuning of both brakes and transmission settings. And that lets you drive your Z way more aggressively on the racetrack. The ring gear and the new Nismo differential have a very close tolerance, so you might need to think outside the box like we did and put the differential in the freezer, which will contract the steel and allow the ring gear to fit perfectly.
Should put this diff in the freezer.
We left our diff in the freezer for about an hour, and that was plenty of time to make it fit. Yeah, it's gonna go on. It's gonna go on. Perfect. We use a little bit of Loctite before torquing the bolts into place. There you go, you're almost there. Next, start by changing out the axle seals because since you're already in there, these seals should be removed because it's an easy fix now compared to later. From there, you'll want to carefully drop your new differential into the housing and then torque your carrier bolts to spec. In our case, we torqued our bolts down to 70 foot-pounds. It's also important to check your backlash, making sure that there's enough play, but not too much in your rear end gear.
Our backlash started off less than 3,000s, but after adjusting it, we got it to a place where it was a little bit more than 4,000s. And this is a safe setting for setting your backlash. Install your axles and give them a little tap with a dead blow hammer.
Bam! That's what's up.
To get them in place once aligned. For the differential cover, we used a little gray gasket maker. Just apply some with your fingers and let it set up for about 10 minutes before you put your cover on your differential. Tighten up your bolts and don't forget to add a brand new vent tube while you're down there. With some help from a friend, lift the differential up into place and go ahead and tighten the bolts that fasten the differential where it belongs. Followed by attaching the axles. Next thing you want to do is install the upgraded sway bar for added performance on the racetrack. The new bar goes in the same spot as the old bar in the same location. All you have to do is tighten up the hardware and your job is finished.